Welcome to another installment of Sports 101. This is volume 43. In this clip, you will hear why, or there's an explanation why, Brian Flores, who is the defensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings, who I believe are now 4-0 on the season, you will hear why he is not currently the head coach of one of these NFL sports franchises. So it's just more of the same. But check out the clip. Thank you for stopping by. And as always, peace!
This is how racism has helped the Vikings start the season undefeated. Right now, we have the best defense in the league coached by Brian Flores, whose schemes are so confusing that opposing quarterbacks have gone out of their way to tell him. His game plans have resulted in the absolute dismantling of 3 opponents, 2 of which were seen as preseason Super Bowl contenders. Quarterbacks simply cannot figure out what kind of defense Minnesota is playing. But we saw this from Flores last year. Despite working with a mediocre defensive roster, losing their starting quarterback, and missing their best weapon for much of the season, Flores' insane scheme kept the Vikings in games all year. Now, typically, a coordinator of this caliber and pedigree would be one of the top head coaching candidates the following offseason, but Flores didn't receive a single head coaching interview despite the Rooney Rule mandating that teams bring in at least one black candidate per job. Besides his supposed crimes of disagreeing with Dolphins owner Stephen Ross and refusing to cheat, plus thinking Tua was not destined to be worth the pick they paid for him, Flores also sued the NFL for racial discrimination as a result of a sham interview he received with the Giants in 2022, among other things. Obviously, we're against the NFL's longtime racism and hiring practices, but as Vikings fans, we're ecstatic. Imagine if your team had the best defensive coordinator in the league, and no one else would touch him with a 10-foot pole. If Flores was white, there's no way we would have been able to keep him. Right now, we're happy to sit back and watch our Vikings destroy your favorite offense with Patrick Jones and Josh Metellus. Although I will say this week's matchup against the best offensive schemer in the NFL will pose quite a challenge.